Hello, 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 YouTube and everybody else, and Substack. I will get Instagram going and then pull up my Substack commenters, and then we are good. And then we'll get TikTok going, and we're good. All right, Instagram's rolling. Substack, let me find you guys here. There you are. There we are. One Substacker, but that's okay. There will be more. Two, excellent. Hey, Justin. All righty, good. Good. NJ's there too, excellent. All right, we're good on that end. And then I might even be able to do a touch more light. I'm gonna go nuts on the light, but I think that's okay. That's okay. It's not gonna be too bright for me. That's okay. Hey, Justin, or hey, NJ. All right, guys, TikTok, and then we're good. All right, TikTok, going live. All righty. Woo. All right. Mirror image. Bam. We're good. We are good. There we go. All right. TikTok. Everybody's here. Yay! It worked today. The technology worked today. Woo! Welcome everybody. John Aravosis here. Here is my show. I'm talking like Melania. Here is my show. Here is my show today. Welcome guys. Yeah, we're going to talk about the latest news. There's a lot of news today. A lot of bad news today, as always. Just more crazy shit. Oil and gas prices exploding, absolutely exploding today. Trump has created a lot of confusion about Iran, and people are not happy. The way I deliver the news doesn't stress you. That's good. I think it stresses me, but but I'm glad it feels better on your end. So anyway, oh my God. Now this happens sometimes, sorry, but on Discord, if somebody wants to, I don't know, Ash or somebody, did you have a suggestion on Discord when people couldn't get the video? Chris can't get the video, but I don't remember whether there's a way, or Amanda, if there's some way to help them, I don't know. Anyway, I have no idea, Chris. Yeah, let's get rolling, guys. So welcome. I'm John Aravosis. This is my news show. We're going to talk a lot about the Iran news, the king visiting, really bad economic news for Trump especially. Lots of stuff there. Keep in mind, I do this for a living, so I very much appreciate your gifts, which is why I hit you up on TikTok for the regular gifts, but also these guys where I do different things for these, if you do these gifts. Also becoming a super fan. We do a show every Saturday morning, almost every Saturday morning, for all the super fans, the subscribers the paid subscribers on YouTube, on Substack, etc., Discord, 11 a.m. Saturday morning. Thank you, Chazak. So keep that in mind, and otherwise, let's get rolling. So, yeah, oil and gas prices exploding today. I mean, exploding today. Gas Buddy, which is a site that follows gasoline, I say gas meaning gasoline prices, was freaking out today. Prices started soaring across the country. Callum was telling me in North Carolina, Callum might have been telling me on Monday or yesterday, I'm forgetting when he called me, but either yesterday or Monday in North Carolina, gas prices were like, I think he said like $4.09 or something like that. And I don't know if he's here today, he can tell us exactly, but I think it was like $4.09 or something. And he said he goes to work, was going to buy gas. He didn't. He finishes work and the gas prices jumped like to $4.50 while he was at work. I mean, it was something horrific. I'm going to get to the actual prices in a bit, but gasoline and oil has skyrocketed today because Donald Trump basically played more games with the market. First up, though, we're going to get to Iran in a second. I want to start with the Comey indictment because it's important. It's important, I think, for the survival of our country and the direction our country is going in. So we'll get to gas prices in a second. But you may have recall that Donald Trump, and I say Donald Trump indicted because he ordered the Justice Department to do this. In American history, I think the only president who might have done something like this was Richard Nixon. No Democrat, no Republican president has ever done what Donald Trump did, thank you, son, which is to order the Department of Justice to indict his political enemies. It does not happen in America. It does now. This is the kind of thing that happens in the Soviet Union, that happens in Putin's Russia, that happens in communist China. It does not happen in America. It does not happen in a functioning democracy. Thank you, Lamb Chop. Thank you, Alistair. It never happened under Biden. It never happened under Bush. It never happened under Reagan or Clinton or Obama. And it's happening repeatedly, nonstop under Donald Trump. This is very bad, guys. Right, Nixon used the IRS to go after people. Exactly. Thank you, LHA. So what Trump is doing is, Trump does not like James Comey. The funny part is James Comey, who was the FBI director, actually got Donald Trump elected. Comey, long story, but Comey was investigating Hillary Clinton, and the investigation was over. Hillary was going to win the election, and like 10 days before the election, Comey announces, "We've reopened the investigation. There's breaking news." He tells the country, people, "Oh my God, Hillary's polls plummet." Now, totally broke the FBI rules, Department of Justice rules. You're not allowed to investigate, basically, it's something like I forget if it's 60 days or something like that before a presidential campaign. You can't open a new investigation. You have to put investigations on hold for presidential candidates because you could influence the election. Well, what did he do? He totally influenced the election. Then, the day before the election, he comes out and goes, "Oh, I was wrong. She did nothing wrong. But..." So A, she did nothing wrong legally, but she was very sloppy. And he gives this long speech about what a bad person Hillary Clinton is for being sloppy. Mind you, he's the FBI director. It's not his job to talk about who's sloppy. It's his job to talk about who broke the law. And he said she didn't break the law, but it was the day before the election. Hillary loses to Donald. So this is the guy. So ironically, and Donald Trump, my favorite is Donald Trump says today, Comey interfered in the election to justify why Trump is indicting him. Except it was like, yes, he did, for you. I mean, like for Trump to even say that was just, you're watching it going, yeah, do you forget that he did it for you? Not on purpose for you, we hope, but like it helped Donald Trump. So anyway, so Trump ordered the FBI about 3 or 4 days ago, the Department of Justice, to indict James Comey. He ordered them before to indict James Comey, and they did. He ordered them again about 4 days ago, and they indicted him again. And the indictment is insane, and I'm going to show you. They indicted James Comey for seashells, literally for seashells, for very, very dangerous seashells. I want to show you. I did a Twitter meme today. I was very proud of myself that I'll show you in a minute. But I want to first pull up the seashells to show you. Where are my favorites? Apple has made things so hard to find. Here we go. So James Comey is walking on the beach, former FBI director, and he sees somebody has arranged these numbers in the sand, 86, 47. 47 means Donald Trump. 47 is the 47th president of the United States, typically. Republicans tend to use this more than Democrats do. They refer to their president by the number. Democrats do, but among Democrats I know in Washington, we don't do that. Republicans will say, 41 for Bush, 43 for Bush the son. We don't do that among Democratic circles where I hang out. Nonetheless, 47 means Donald Trump. Clearly, 86 means get rid of him. 86 is a slang expression in American English, maybe in British English. Actually, is it in British English? I don't know. But in American English, it means get rid of it, knock it out, take it away, forget it. It can mean kill as well, but it usually means get rid of it, knock it out, strike it out. For example, people were saying, and I forgot about this with restaurants. Not in British. Okay, in American it does. In restaurants they can say, oh, you know what? 86 that order of steak, meaning kill it. We don't. They don't want it anymore, right? Thank you, Sadie. Very nice gift there, Sadie, by the way. Thank you for that. Anyway, it's a common expression. Well, Trump got the FBI to go after Comey, and I clarified it today, by the way, which is insane. They clarified today, they are alleging that Comey also wrote something that made it clear that he saw this on the beach. And he said, oh, look what I saw on the beach. And he posted this. They are claiming this is Comey saying he plans to assassinate Trump. This is what they claim this meant. And that's why they've charged him with a crime. This is Comey admitting he's planning to assassinate Trump because he took a picture of seashells. These are seashells, by the way. He took a picture of seashells on the beach that said Donald Trump needs to go, basically. I think they're going to have a hard time with this guy. Obviously, all the experts said this is the literally silliest, worst case they have ever seen, the most embarrassing case they have ever seen the FBI do. They've never seen anything like this in the history of the FBI and the Department of Justice, ever. More embarrassing, Trump's, I should say the other thing going on here, Todd Blanche is Trump's acting FBI director, Department of Justice. Excuse me. Remember the blonde woman left? She got kicked out and fired. He was her deputy. He wants to be the FBI director. So he's doing this to suck up to Trump, which is why he's indicting Trump's political enemies. But he, as I said, he's going to have a very hard time getting this in court. The judge is going to throw it out. The judge is going to throw it out. One, because 86 does not mean kill in most circles, and good luck proving that. Second of all, they're alleging that Comey said it as he's planning an assassination. At best, or worst, however you want to say it, this means Comey wishes Donald Trump would. First of all, not even Comey. At best, this means I saw something funny on the beach where somebody else wished that Donald Trump expired. Let's use the word expired so TikTok doesn't get upset at us, right? At worst or best, whatever, meaning at the most generous to Trump's interpretation, it means someone else wished Trump to expire and I thought it was funny. Well, in America, you're allowed to think that's funny. You're even allowed to think it's a good idea. You can't do anything to do it. You can't say you plan on doing it, but that's not what this does. Now, I will say, I literally just did this for TikTok because I thought it was funny. But I just put, not TikTok, I put this on Twitter actually. You Game of Thrones fans will get it. The rest of you may not, but I thought it was quite, I just rewatched Game of Thrones the other day and it just sort of came to me, but anyway. So yeah, this is insane. This is absolutely insane what's going on. I'm trying to think what else with this stuff. Trump did say, Trump actually admitted, this was great. Trump admitted today, I think I may have I don't think I've got the video. I thought I had the video. Let me see, 1 second here. Maybe I don't. I thought I had the video of Trump today admitting that, hang on here. Oh, I think wait. No, that's yesterday's. This is yesterday's.
James Comey was in court. He self-surrendered. He's now been charged a second time. This time over a social media post with seashells.
Oh, hold on. I think this is it.
Do you really think that he was endangering your life or threatening your life with that?
Well, if anybody knows anything about crime, they know 86. You know what 86? It's a mob term for kill 'em. You know? You ever see the movies? 86 'em.
Listen to this.
The mobster says to one of his wonderful associates, 86 'em. That means kill 'em. It's, I think of it as a mob term. I don't know. People think of it as something having to do with disappearing, but the mob.
There we go. Thank you, Donald Trump, for exonerating James Comey, because that is going to make it into court. Donald Trump goes, I think of it as a mob term meaning kill, but other people think of it as a term that means just make it disappear, make it go away. Oh, you mean what Comey took a picture of doesn't always mean kill. A lot of people think it doesn't mean kill at all. A lot of people think it just means make it disappear and go away. Well, thank you for clarifying that, Donald Trump, right? I mean, he's a moron, but he's a complete moron, right? They're alleging it means kill, and Trump goes, yeah, but for a lot of people it doesn't mean kill. It's like, okay, well, thank you. Thank you. That works for me. Appreciate that. It's like, oh, well. So Trump completely screwed the case. Big surprise. ABC's Jonathan Karl weighs in. Even prosecutors in Trump's Department of Justice are privately calling this the flimsiest federal indictment in memory. There is no doubt that Trump himself was the driving force behind this indictment. He suggested Comey should be prosecuted just 3 days ago, with more retribution to come. By the way, every single one of these people, the Department of Justice and the FBI, need to be under criminal indictment once Democrats come back to power. At the very least, they need to have congressional hearings so that these people are raked over the coals, let them get their high-priced lawyers, and pay millions of dollars in legal bills to explain why they were willing to use the Justice Department to go after Trump's political enemies who they know committed no crimes. Also, oh yes, just a reminder that recently Donald Trump posted an image of President Biden kidnapped, knocked out, and bound in the back of a pickup truck. President Biden is 83 years old. If somebody did that to him, it would probably kill him. Donald Trump, well, you could argue Donald Trump called for Joe Biden to be kidnapped, beaten, and killed. But it's okay. Right? I mean, it's okay for Donald Trump to do. All right, enough out of you. Jesus, the dog is already in her begging for food mode. Yeah, you get it. What else? Enough. Stop it. Jesus. The dog is feeling better, so she's begging for food the entire show now. Thank you, Elisa, for the sheep. Oh, yes. Oh, I didn't show you. So also a few years back, two of Donald Trump's big friends also used 86. Check this out. Check this out. Hang on. Let me get my... Oh, God, that idiot picture, too. Hold on. Hold on. Favorites. I'm trying to find these on my iPad. Oops. Favorites. There we go. I need to adjust my iPad so I can find stuff better. So this was Jack Posobiec, who is a huge friend of the Trump family. According to saying 86-46, 46 would be President Biden. According to Donald Trump and the FBI and Department of Justice, this would be a top friend of Donald Trump saying that he plans to assassinate President Biden, according to the FBI. I don't think it means that, but Donald Trump's FBI and Department of Justice says it does mean that. So interesting question as to why the Secret Service is not investigating this friend of the Trump family for saying he plans to assassinate President Biden. The other one that was really interesting is, hang on. I took this today. Shoot. And now, oh, you know what? No, I've got the text. I didn't actually have what he wrote. The other one was Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz, who Donald Trump chose to be his attorney general, talked about 86ing several members of Congress. Oh, I do have his. Here it is. Yeah. This was Matt Gaetz, Donald Trump's choice to be attorney general, talking about 86ing, apparently his plan to assassinate 3 Republican members of Congress, including Mitch McConnell and McCarthy, who I believe was the speaker at the time. Right? I mean, they're going to lose this case in court so badly. I am just waiting to see what the judge says. The judge, I think, is going to be livid with this case because he knows that basically they're breaking the law by even launching these cases. So it should be very interesting. Iran. So Iran, the clusterfuck quagmire that it is, got even worse today. And the reason, so oil and gas prices went through the roof today. I mean, the roof. Oil, I was going to mention it later, I'll tell you now. Oil skyrocketed 8% in the U.S. today. U.S. West Texas crude is up to $108. It went up 8%. British crude went up 7.7% when I checked an hour ago to 120. It is way above where it was at its peak, right? I mean, this was where... Remember, Trump lied about the whole situation being we reached peace with Iran, and we were like, what? And oil prices came down. They're back. Gasoline, the average price of gas in America for a gallon of regular is up to $4.26. You might remember during last night's show, it was $4.19. Gas Buddy says, by the way, in the next week, they predict that the price of the average price of a regular gallon of gasoline is going to jump to $4.50 in the next week from $4.26 today, $4.17 yesterday. I mean, going through the roof with this stuff. As you guys know, certain other parts of the country, obviously it's higher or lower, that's a whole different question. This is the average, of course, but very bad stuff. So Iran, the reason oil and gas prices really flipped out today, Donald Trump said he's just going to leave the Strait of Hormuz closed. He's going to just drag this on for months and leave the Strait of Hormuz closed. And if gas prices go up, they're going to go up. And the markets, stop it. Sorry, my dog has become the whiner for food. I told you guys before, this is what happens. I gave her treats to keep her quiet during the show. And now, starting at the beginning of the show, she comes and she begs for treats because my dog is the smartest dog on the planet. So now she can't get anything. Stop, please. Because you can't hear it, but I'm sitting here doing the show, and for the last 20 minutes, I've had under the table, and it is literally like something in my ear going off. Stop! Something in my ear going off as I'm trying to talk to you. It's like Chinese water torture. And I said, you may not be able to hear it. It's literally making my head explode like, oh my God, please stop. Love her, but oh my God, my dog is such a pain in the ass sometimes. So Iran, I'm going to read you a couple different news stories, okay? This is why the markets, and this is why everybody freaked out today. Wall Street Journal reports that Trump does not want to resume bombing Iran or walk away from the conflict. He will continue an indefinite blockade. Quote, President Trump has instructed aides to prepare for an extended blockade of Iran, U.S. officials said, targeting the regime's coffers in a high-risk bid to compel a nuclear capitulation Iran has refused. Axios goes on to say, the tense stalemate has no immediate end in sight, so higher energy prices appear certain for months, and a hot war could break out at any moment. The big picture, several U.S. officials told Axios they're concerned about America getting drawn into a frozen conflict of no war and no deal. In this scenario, the U.S. would have to keep its forces in the region for many more months. The Strait of Hormuz would stay closed, the U.S. blockade would remain, and both sides would continue waiting for the other to blink. In other words, we are literally in Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Iraq. It happened. It is exactly what everybody predicted would happen. We are in a quagmire. There is any sense of how this war is going to end. Trump's plan is now to never end the war, to keep the Strait of Hormuz closed, which means oil prices are going to go through the roof. Gasoline prices are going to go through and they already are today. Inflation is the real concern now is that this is going to spike inflation bad. And when inflation goes up, guess what happens next? The yield on bonds goes up. It's complicated. Thank you, Julie. But bottom line is the way we finance our debt is selling bonds. Well, if you want people to buy your bonds, you've got to give them a high interest. The yield is the interest rate. Let's call it interest rates. You've got to they buy some of our debt and we say, but we will pay you 5% a year or whatever on the debt you bought, right? They're like savings bonds. And then we'll pay you back what you bought and interest. Well, if inflation is going up, people go, well, bullshit. We're not going to buy American debt. We're not going to buy $1 million of American debt if inflation's going up in America, because when I get that money back, it's going to be worth less because of inflation. So I want you to give me more interest. I want you to give me more interest on the debt than inflation. So if inflation is going up to 5%, I want 6%. If inflation is going up to 6%, I want 7%. Well, what that does is it raises the yield on bonds. It raises the interest rate on bonds. And guess what's tied to the interest rate on bonds? The price of borrowing in general for businesses, but even more importantly for you and me, mortgage rates. Your mortgage, literally the mortgage rates are tied to the 10-year yield on bonds. So inflation is going to go up because of this. Because inflation is going to go up, bond rates are going to go up. Because bond yields are going to go up, mortgage rates are going to go up. Lending is going to become more expensive. The payment on the debt is going to soar. So our budget deficit is going to get even worse. It is on and on and on. And with inflation going up, what happens with the Federal Reserve? They've got to raise interest rates. You raise interest rates, and what happens? You suppress the economy. You increase unemployment. Right? And the economy is already on shaky ground, we know. This is the worst case scenario of what's happening right now. And Trump caused it. It was a war of choice. And everyone's kind of freaking out. And again, this is why I think the markets, let's see, I'm not thrilled about my stocks. And the bond situation, really bad, really bad. But Jens, that's not really the issue. The issue is inflation. I mean, that's the problem. No, Jens is saying the price is, the price of gas is twice that in Sweden. That's not the point. That is the price of gas in Sweden. That's not the price of gas in America. When gas prices go up 50%, which they have, that means the cost of shipping items around the country goes up, maybe not 50%, but for a lot of goods, 50% of the cost is gasoline. I know, like for planes, I forget the exact number. I showed you guys this the other day for airplanes, that basically the number one factor for how much it costs to run an airline is gasoline, is diesel fuel. So if the price goes up 50%, you just took the number one thing that affects airline prices and you raised it by 50%. So imagine what that does, right? So it doesn't matter what for example, they say, the price of gas hit a higher peak under Biden. Well, inflation also hit 10%. Right? Are you saying you'd like inflation to hit 10% again? I mean, that's the problem. It is going to raise the prices of goods across the country. That's the problem. And again, it's linear. If the price of gas goes up 50%, first of all, if the price of gas goes up 50%, you're paying 50% more for gasoline, period. If the price of gasoline goes up 50%, every single good you buy now costs a lot more because to ship it to you, they're having to pay 50% more. And guess what? They're passing that cost on to you. All right, more on this. Hang on. The, thank you, Blue. Oh, cool gift. Thank you, Blue. So Trump repeatedly says today and puts out the message, we're in this for a quagmire. We're not going anywhere. We're going to leave the Strait of Hormuz closed, and we're going to drag this out for months as oil prices and gasoline prices go through the roof. At the same time, what does Trump do? Listen to this. Axios reports, U.S. Central Command has prepared a plan for a short and powerful wave of strikes on Iran in the hopes of breaking the negotiating deadlock, 3 sources said, but Trump hasn't given an order to implement it. So, he's so bad. So, thank you, madam. So, Trump is signaling to Iran today, I don't care about things being closed. I'm going to close the Strait of Hormuz, and I'm going to leave it closed for months because America doesn't care, and we're going to see how long Iran can handle it. At the same time, Trump has asked the Pentagon to come up with a series of bombing strikes so we can try to shake things up because he's freaked out that Iran isn't going to cave. So which one is it? Is Trump freaked out that Iran isn't going to cave and we have to bomb immediately? Or is Trump comfortable with the current situation and he doesn't care if it lasts for months because he thinks Iran's going to break first because America doesn't care? Do you get the problem? Like, which one is it, right? Does America not care if this goes on for months? Or are we panicked and we're talking about bombing Iran because we can't just leave the stalemate where it is? If you're Iran, once again, if I'm Iran and I'm watching this, I'm going, Donald Trump is freaked out. Donald Trump knows America doesn't want this war. Donald Trump doesn't want to bomb us again because Americans are going to freak out and think, oh my God, right? Currently things are calm. Oh my God, things have exploded again. The economic stuff, people are freaking out. Not just are people freaking out. Again, I do not claim to be an expert on oil. The people who are experts on oil today were freaking out. Not just because prices are going up, but prices have really gone up. Like for diesel fuel, they're skyrocketing. Diesel fuel is planes. Diesel fuel is the transportation of pretty much every single thing you buy that's a physical object that is not, software, right? It's if I'm Iran right now, I'm going, Iran's in trouble, but America's in trouble too, and the world's in trouble too. He walked into exactly what we predicted was going to happen if he went after Iran. Other than the terrorism, we aren't seeing the terrorism which we worried about. That is true. But the rest of it we are seeing. What else we got? Polls. So speaking of which, more polls out today. I'm going to go through the polls. A lot of polls out today. People are pissed at Donald Trump over the economy. Keep in mind, America has a huge election coming up this fall. It is not the presidential election, but it's the congressional elections. So the way it works in America, every 2 years we have congressional elections, okay? The entire House of Representatives is up every 2 years. The term of the House of Representatives is 2 years, okay? So everyone's up there. In the United States Senate, the term is 6 years. So senators serve for 6 years, but 1/3 of the Senate is up every 2 years. So this fall, the entire House of Representatives will be voted on, and 1/3 of the U.S. Senate, 33 seats or something like that, right? And the next 2 years from now, another 1/3 of the U.S. Senate will be up for election. 2 years from now, another 1/3 of the U.S. Senate, and it goes like that. So the House, totally up for grabs in the fall, the Senate, 1/3. That's what's going on. Currently, the polls say Democrats are going to take back the House. Republicans control both. Democrats are going to take back the House of Representatives. The Senate, still difficult, might be a tie. Republicans might be ahead by 1 or 2 seats, or Democrats could take it back. It depends how bad the economy gets. It depends how bad the polling gets. The polling is horrific for Republicans. Let me go through some of this. Fox Business, Fox News, right? Donald Trump's station. Fox Business says a new poll shows 61% of Americans think the economy is on the wrong track, up from 43% in January. Now, in the U.S., and I'm going to wager probably most of the world, in the U.S., the economy is what guides elections. The number one issue in the elections is almost always the economy. So very bad when 61% of the country thinks the economy is on the wrong track. Harvard-Harris poll, economy better under Biden or Trump? People were asked, was the economy better under Biden or Trump? independents. So I'm going to give you the independent numbers because, of course, Democrats think Biden. Of course, Republicans think Trump, right? Independents are the voters in the middle, the swing voters, the voters that can go either way. They're the ones that Donald Trump won last time. They're the ones Democrats need to win this time. Among independents, asked, do you think the economy was better under Biden or Trump? 65% thought it was better under Biden. 35% think it's better under Trump. Almost 2-to-1, they prefer Biden. Thank you, Cricket, for the gifts. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Inflation polling. CNN's Harry Enton, who's their poll expert, quote, Trump's numbers on inflation aren't just the worst for him ever. They're the worst I've seen for any president. They're worse than Biden's worst. They're worse than Carter's pre-1980 election. Donald Trump has the worst polling numbers on inflation of any president in American history that the pollsters have ever seen. That is so freaking fabulous, it's not even funny. It's not fabulous if inflation's a problem, but it is fabulous if it's blowing up in Donald Trump's face. Net approval on inflation. Thank you, Lady Bird and Cricket. Net approval on inflation. Joe Biden. So the net approval, remember, is the difference between the approval and the disapproval, right? Do you approve or disapprove? You want to be positive. You want 60% approval, 40% disapproval. That's plus 20. But if it's 60% disapproval and 40% approval, that's negative 20. You want positive. So the high or the low of the number tells you just how bad or good it is. So net approval on inflation. Joe Biden at June 2022 was at negative 43 points. So that's when things were very bad for Biden, negative 43 on inflation. That's bad. Jimmy Carter, at his worst, October of 1980, 1 month before the election with Ronald Reagan, that Ronald Reagan wiped the entire country except Minnesota for Jimmy Carter, or from Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was at negative 46. So Joe Biden, negative 43 for his net approval on inflation. Jimmy Carter, negative 46. Donald Trump, negative 49. Donald Trump is doing worse than Jimmy Carter right before he lost to Ronald Reagan. And inflation and Iran were like the two big issues for Jimmy Carter because inflation was out of control. And you know, for Biden, inflation was the number one issue, right? Reuters Ipsos poll of independents on the cost of living. Wrong track versus right track. Again, on the cost of living, on inflation, do you think America is on the right or wrong track? They polled independents and Republicans, by the way. Independents, wrong track. Independents, 75% of independents think America is on the wrong track with regards to inflation. 9% of independents think America is on the right track with regards to inflation. But it gets more interesting. Republicans were asked the same question. Republicans, how many Republicans think America is on the right track with regards to inflation? 39%. How many Republicans think America is on the wrong track with regards to inflation? 45%. A plurality of think Donald Trump has set us on the wrong path for inflation. Now, they may not vote against him, but when your own people, more of them think you've screwed up the economy than have helped the economy, that's very, very, very bad. Kaiser Family Foundation polling shows that while gasoline prices are the top economic worry of the American public, it is tied in the polls with another concern. There's two concerns that Americans have that are number one in the polls. They're top two concerns for the economy. One, gasoline prices. Two, the cost of health care. Funny, because health care costs are going through the roof. Why? Because Donald Trump and the Republicans refused to renew the Obamacare subsidies. There were two sets of Obamacare subsidies, an original set and then an additional set that was done during COVID. The additional set expired, and Trump and the Republicans, remember the government got shut down? The government got shut down. The big government shutdown happened because Democrats said, no, we are not going to do the funding until you fund the subsidies again. The Republicans said no. Donald Trump said no. The subsidies are gone. Half the subsidies are gone now. For me, if they don't put those subsidies back by next year, it probably is going to cost me $4,000 more this year for my health insurance. $4,000, guys. That's how bad it is. Because in America, you know how expensive things are in America, right? My monthly health insurance is $1,650 just for my health insurance. So these subsidies make a big difference. I mean, that's pretty much $20,000 a year that I pay for health insurance. I mean, and I don't make that much money. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So That's going to be good for Republicans. What else we got? The ballroom shooter. So this is kind of funny in a pathetic Trump administration way. Trump's people, the Attorney General, the guy who wants to be permanent Attorney General, they claimed that they came out, the shooter shot an FBI agent, but he's okay. And I mentioned this yesterday. Washington Post did an analysis. Thank you, Crickets, for the gifts. Appreciate it. Washington Post does an analysis and determined the shooter didn't shoot anything. The shooter didn't shoot at all. He was running through there. He did not shoot. It looks like law enforcement basically opened fire and accidentally shot a Secret Service agent. Was not killed, which is good because he was wearing a bulletproof armor, bulletproof vest, body armor, but that the guy didn't shoot anybody. Trump's people came out and claimed that the guy shot the Secret Service agent. Then, and I don't think I grabbed this video. Shoot, actually, hold on, I'm going to pull up this video because I just tweeted it and it was the most outrageous thing I've ever seen. Hang on, well, one of the most outrageous things, I mean, with these guys, maybe not the most outrageous, but very outrageous. Let me pull this up and see if you understand what they're saying here. All right, hang on a sec. Sasha, quiet. Here we go. This is the guy who wants to. Who's it? Here we go.
So I understand that there is shocker leaks around that, but I'm not going to get ahead of the work of the law enforcement. It would not surprise me if it turns out that that our Secret Service agent was shot by the individual who's currently been charged with that crime. But that is something that would be wildly inappropriate for me to comment on beyond.
But he just did.
Beyond saying just that, just because when we know something.
Look at him. It would be wildly inappropriate in an investigation to say something publicly about the shooter's guilt. But it wouldn't surprise me if he shot the Secret Service agent. You're like, wait, what? What? He just accused the guy of shooting wouldn't surprise me if he shot the agent, but I'm not going to take a position because that would potentially, Tom, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I plan on defending the Constitution of the United States. And by the way, Tom's leaving us. But if you are so screwed up of an attorney general as these guys, such keystone cops, he is jaundicing the case by making that idiotic comment. We could lose the case against the shooter because of that idiotic comment. Because this idiot Attorney General, Todd Blanche, went public and accused the shooter of shooting an FBI agent when we now know pretty much that he didn't shoot the FBI agent. But he told the public it wouldn't surprise me if he did. That is potentially going to, it's going to hurt the case. And the judge is not going to like it. And the judge, they're going to use it to basically try to say, Your Honor, this case is now biased and unfair. I mean, you don't do that. That is idiotic if you want to win this case. So yeah, if you actually want the shooter to go to prison, he's not even a shooter now. If you want the alleged assassin to go to prison, telling the dog to be quiet, to go to prison, then you don't say stupid things public that are going to bias the case against him and get the case thrown out of court. That's what you don't do. And that is something that smart people know, smart lawyers know like me, and dumb people who simply want to score points online think it's really cool. And it's not really cool because it's the way you lose law cases. And if you actually care about freedom and democracy and fighting terrorism and fighting people who kill people, then maybe you need to smarten up and not go, yeah, it's cool because he's my guy. Unbelievable. So yeah, that was incredibly stupid. What else we got here? The El Niño. So the coming El Niño is supposedly going to be one of the biggest ever, the strongest in 150 years, they're saying. Meteorologists say it could rival or even surpass the legendary 1877 El Niño, the strongest on record, which was linked to widespread drought, monsoon failure, and global food crises in parts of Asia, Africa, and South America. Yale is saying it could be so bad that it permanently alters the climate. I don't know what that means, but not good. I've got a few more stories here. I've got some Ukraine stuff. Actually, we have a lot more stories here. But I want to see if I had more. I've got more coming up here. Oh, I'll just show you this. This is our FBI director. Look at the socks he's wearing. They're like American flag socks. One is blue with little stars, and the other is red stripes like the Wizard of Oz, like the Wicked Witch. He's the FBI. This is what he's wearing that night of the dinner with a tuxedo. I mean, I'm sorry, but he's a frat boy. Every time we see this guy, he's again, he's either chugging liquor at the Olympics on the taxpayer dime, or he's dressing like a frat boy. Oh, he's acting like a frat boy in some way or the other. If you're French, this might be appropriate. If you're and I say that with all legitimacy because the French like to wear funny socks. If you're the American FBI director, you don't do crap like this. It looks really ridiculous. It looks childish. You don't do it. I mean, again, that's something Donald Trump's going to look at and go, really? Completely inappropriate. What else we got here? I'm going to get to some of this in a minute. Yeah, I'll get to the rest of this in a minute. So Ukraine. King Charles on Ukraine and NATO at the White House State Dinner. Quote, American leadership helped rebuild a shattered continent, playing a decisive role as a defender of freedom in Europe. We and I shall never forget that, not least as freedom is again under attack following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Today, our partnership in NATO deepen our technological and military cooperation partnerships and ensure that together we can meet the challenges of an increasingly complex and contested world. Stolen grain updates. So remember that Israel is buying 30 ships worth of stolen grain from Ukraine via the Russians, and reportedly they already got 30 ships worth. One arrived this week. Another one is just arriving right now. And Gunther, I think frat boys are hot. I don't really want them to be the Attorney General of the United States. Difference. Yes. Would I date them? And do I want them to be running law enforcement when we're at war with a terrorist state? I don't think so. It's a different standard of my choice there. I think most Americans would agree on that one. There's a difference between, well, I don't want to use dirty words, but you know what I mean. Difference between what you would and what you want as your FBI director. So stolen grain. So the Israelis apparently have stolen a bunch of Ukrainian grain. The Russians, as you know, invaded Ukraine. They stole Ukrainian land, and they are now taking, somebody explained to Paula what that is. They're now taking Ukrainian grain, the Russians are, and selling it worldwide. Basically grain they've stolen from Ukraine. And the Israelis thought, how cool, we can get a bunch of cheap grain from the Russians that they stole off the Ukrainians while trying to commit a genocide. How cool is that? The Ukrainians contacted the Israelis. The Israelis said, screw you. The Ukrainians then went public, and the Israelis, and again, today, the Israeli foreign minister keeps tweeting the most smug, obnoxious comments about, how dare you accuse us? If you can provide proof, we are certainly happy to consider it. And it's like, dude, you bought 30 shiploads of stolen grain. You know it. You're Mossad. You know exactly where that grain came from. And you didn't care because the Israelis are trying to suck up to Putin, and they want cheap grain. They don't freaking care if a country is facing a genocide because of it. Ironically, Israel doesn't care. You'd think Israel with its history, maybe they should care about countries facing genocide. I don't know. Call me crazy. Somebody comes in, a militaristic state, and tries to wipe all your people out based on your ethnicity. Maybe Israel should care about that. I don't know, but they don't, it seems. No, and I'm a supporter of Israel. You're losing me fast. You are losing me so fast on this crap because Israel is not the country I used to support. I don't know what the fuck it is now. But in any case, so the latest today, senior Ukrainian officials tell Lazar Berman, who's a journalist, that Kyiv's willingness to help Israel counter Hezbollah drone attacks depends on Israel's actions around what Ukraine calls grain stolen by Russia. Quote, we will consider this request in contingency with their behavior with the stolen grain. Israel is now retaliating against Ukraine. So Ukraine wanted the grain. Ukraine told Israel, stop buying our stolen grain. Israel got mad, and now they're retaliating against Ukraine and basically getting more Ukrainians killed. I'm telling you guys, as a supporter of Ukraine and a supporter of Israel, Israel's dropping fast on that list. Ukraine is not dropping fast. Israel plummeting in terms of my support for that country at this point. At this point, I'd be fine with sanctions on Israel at this point. I would be fine with the U.S. cutting, I don't know, half of our aid, maybe even all of it, I don't care, cut our aid to Israel until they turn around and go, you know what? Maybe we need to stop treating you like assholes. Maybe, since you're not just an ally, but you're the one ally who keeps us afloat, maybe we'll be nice to you. Maybe we won't treat you like a piece of shit, like our dog. But I've kind of had it with being treated as Israel's dog, to be honest, as an Israeli supporter. And seriously, at this point, I'd say cut their aid. I don't care. Cut their aid. Let them see what it feels like to be surrounded by enemies. And then, if they want to be our friend, I'll turn the aid back on. Because I don't have a problem with giving Israel aid. I really don't. I think they're our most important ally in the Middle East. But they've also kind of become a bunch of fuckers at this point, and they don't appreciate the support we give them. And if they don't, and just like this, if they want to suck up to Putin, that's great. You guys feel free to talk to Putin, and if he wants to defend your country, you go for it. You go for it. He needs a new friend anyway. He lost Syria. He's still got Iran, but you want to jump in bed with Iran and Putin? You go for it, because clearly the Israelis don't think they need us. And they keep re-electing Netanyahu. There's an election in the fall. And I was talking to somebody about it today. Apparently, Netanyahu still not doing too bad in the election in the fall. This is like Hungary all over again. And I'm sorry, love the Hungarians, but you elected that man for 16 years. You know, Israel, you keep re-electing Netanyahu, just like us and Trump. At some point, we got to hold you responsible for electing bad people, just like, frankly, the world should hold us responsible for electing Donald Trump. Anyway, so Israel, Axios reports that Israel has rejected a U.S. request to allow Germany to send Spike anti-tank missiles to Ukraine. Spike missiles are produced in Germany with Israeli technology under an Israeli license. Since the beginning of Russia's invasion, Israel has taken a neutral stance and refused to supply weapons to Ukraine. You know what? I'm wondering, this is an old story. This is an old story. I remember now. Sorry, I hate when people do this on Twitter, but actually, this is important. What somebody did was somebody shared this story to say, look at what Israel did in the past. And this is actually, so this is not a news story. This is an important story because this is exactly the crap Israel did throughout the war. Israel refused to help Ukraine because they didn't want to ruin relations with Putin. And this was a good example of what they did. They refused to even, the U.S. requested that Israel let these anti-tank weapons go to Ukraine, and Israel said no. No, because they didn't want to hurt things with Putin, right? Little more here. Julie Davis, the acting U.S. ambassador in Kyiv, is leaving the State Department, having grown frustrated with Trump's dwindling support for Ukraine. Davis's resignation follows that of her predecessor, Bridget Brink, who resigned for similar reasons early last year. There was an important Supreme Court case today. I'm going to read you the Associated Press analysis of it because, frankly, I just am looking at it right now, so it's better to give you the AP analysis. The Supreme Court on Wednesday hollowed out a landmark civil rights era law that has increased minority representation in Congress and elsewhere, striking down a majority black congressional district in Louisiana and opening the door for more redistricting across the country that could aid Republican efforts to control the House. In a 6-3 ruling, the court's conservative majority found that Louisiana district represented by so-and-so relied too heavily on race. Chief Justice Roberts, blah, 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 blah. That map is an unconstitutional gerrymander. The effect of the ruling may be felt more strongly in 2028 because most filing deadlines for this year's congressional races have passed, but it could affect Democrats trying to get seats next time. King Charles. So let's talk about King Charles. So King Charles is here for the week. Enough you. King Charles is here for the week. Oops, move my chair over. With Camilla. And lots of funny things happened with Trump I'm going to share with you. First up, the Oval Office has gotten even gayer. This is the latest picture of the Oval Office and what he's done to it. He put even more gold chalices on the mantelpiece. He put more of them. He's got more gay sperm on the wall. Gold sperm on the wall. I mean, look at this crazy ass thing. Look at this crazy stuff. I mean, this is absolutely, it's not just tacky, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I mean, it is so embarrassing. It is absolutely so embarrassing. But again, what is funny is it's a cry for help. The only thing I like about it is it's a cry for help and he has no idea. This screams, oh my God, I think so little of myself. I know you don't like me, and I want to show you how much money I have, so I'm going to put gold everywhere to show how important I am. He did this with his apartment in New York. His apartment in Trump Tower was literally like Liberace, exploded with the gay alien in his stomach and like spewed gold lame everywhere or whatever the hell it is. It's horrific. But this is someone desperate for attention, desperate to be loved, desperate to show how rich and important I am, that I have gold everywhere, like a Liberace, Arab dictator. That's exactly what it is. Camilla. So here's a video I need to show you. This video is, and I'm going to show it to you a couple times, okay? This video shows Queen Camilla and Trump at the White House yesterday, and the cabinet is lined up with their wives, and Queen Camilla starts to go to shake the hands of Trump's cabinet, okay? Ooh, the sun's starting to come, but we should be okay. I think we'll be okay. Starts to come to shake the hands of Trump's cabinet. I want you to watch the video very carefully. Keep your eye on Camilla, and then I'm going to show it to you again, and then you can watch Charles. But the first time, keep an eye on Camilla. Camilla, of course, is the woman with the white and the white hat, okay? I'm getting rid of the voice. She's shaking hands. She goes up. Trump blocks her. Trump blocks her again. She's standing there, and now she can't shake any more hands. I'm going to show you this. Actually, it'll start again really quick, all right? Look at it. He goes on. Now, I want you to watch again, all right? Keep an eye on Camilla here. Oh, I should have done this. Keep an eye on Camilla again, okay? She's shaking hands going through the line. He comes out of nowhere and cuts her off with his own cabinet. Trump did not want her to shake hands with his cabinet. Hey, stop. Sorry, I know it's loud for you guys. He didn't want her to shake hands with his cabinet. I don't know why. First of all, it's his cabinet. He's at an event for the king and the queen. Why at an event for the king and the queen would Donald Trump see his own cabinet and go, I must greet my cabinet and shake everyone's hand going down the line? Why would you do that? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. I mean, it's kind of like a wedding party, right? Like if you're at a wedding party and, it doesn't make sense. It's his staff. And it's not like it's a cabinet meeting where maybe you shake hands. It's a meeting for the king. Donald Trump is shaking their hand as if he's the special guest meeting them. It makes no sense. He did this so she couldn't do it. Oh, but it gets better. I want you to watch it again. This time, keep an eye on I missed it the first time. Keep an eye on the king. Okay? This time, keep an eye on the king. That's, of course, the king over there, right? Keep an eye on the king, okay? Get ready for it. He goes to shake once. He goes to shake twice. Trump cuts him off. Nothing. At one point, he finally turns around because he doesn't know what to do. Watch the king. Keep an eye on him. Here he goes. He starts to turn and walk away because he doesn't know what to do. I'm going to let you watch this one again. Look at what he does to the freaking king. Actually, hold on. I'm going to try to zoom in here. Here we go. Watch this. 1, 2. Trump cuts him off. I mean, and look at that. And the king and Camilla just standing there not knowing what to do. So freaking embarrassing. So freaking embarrassing. And the thing is, that was on purpose. He didn't want them, I think, to be honest, I think he didn't want them meeting the cabinet because he felt like the cabinet was like, why should the king be meeting the cabinet, right? I don't want them shaking hands with the cabinet. So, but for him to jump in and cut off Camilla and the king, but for the king to twice reach out, the other problem is it's embarrassing to the king, right? It's embarrassing to the king because the king now twice put out his hand and didn't know what to, first of all, the queen got cut off. That was bad enough. But that the king put out his hand and pulled it back and put out his hand again and pulled it back looks stupid. Even for an American, you wouldn't do that to like a head of state or whatever the hell you call the king. But he's like the king of England. they have even more pomp and circumstance than we do, more rules than we do. I'm going to guess there's a rule that you don't make the king look stupid, that he goes to reach a hand and then pulls back and goes again and pulls back. It looks stupid. And for any event, even in America, you wouldn't do that with a head of state. because it looks, you've now embarrassed them. You've made a snafu. You've made a faux pas. You've made something go wrong. It's etiquette. It's not just etiquette. It's you made things go wrong. You made your guest look stupid. No, I'm telling you, I think, I mean, JTA says he probably, he's more important to them. I think he was cutting off Camilla and the king. He did not want them to shake hands. Now, this reminded me, do you remember what Trump did with the Queen? Remember this? She gets stuck behind him and she's trying to get by. Look at her, where'd you go? Oh, I don't know, where'd she go? Wait, let's go again. Look at this, she's trying to get by him. He's cutting her off. I mean, that was a famous one with Queen Elizabeth when he did that little move. No, it is completely and utterly embarrassing. Absolutely, completely and utterly embarrassing. The last little thing I was going to say was Trump tweeted. I don't think I grabbed it because I didn't care. Did I grab it? Maybe I grabbed it. Yes. Trump tweeted this from the White House. The White House tweeted this yesterday. The two kings, ha ha ha. Okay. 24 hours before, or maybe it was 18 hours or 36 hours before, right before. Hang on, adjust my little screen. About a day and a half before that picture was, before they sent out that tweet, the White House calling Trump a king. Trump told ABC News that the fact that the No Kings rally called him a king helped inspire the shooter because it inspires people to try to kill him, calling him a king. 36 hours later, the White House called Trump a king. After saying that calling him a king, literally a day and a half before, Trump goes on CBS, on 60 Minutes, and says, when you call me, thank you, Dawn, that's cute. When you call me a king, you're putting a price on my head. And he went and turned around and then called himself the king. I mean, it's just, you know, I mean, again, he lies about everything. Everything, as I've said, everything is a confession, right? Whenever Trump accuses you of something, he's always confessing. And once again, right? Oh, the big argument, oh my God, Democrats are going to get us all killed and dangerous, except I'm going to say the same things Democrats do. And it's okay when I do it. Yeah. Anyway, all right. I'm going to adjust my screen so I can sit back a little. We got about 15 more minutes to hang. That's it for decent part. That's it. We had a good amount of news today. Oh boy. I think when he cut off the Queen, it was not intentional. When Trump cut off the Queen, he was just being a moron. Queen Elizabeth. That he was just being a moron. When he cut off Camilla and King Charles yesterday, it was absolutely on purpose. He did not want them shaking the hands of his cabinet, and he blocked them. I was going to say boom, blocked them, but that might not be the nice phrase to use. So I'm not going to do that. You know, I mean, street rat, what do you mean? What were they referring to? Yeah. I mean, and Trump also doesn't walk well. Hi, I know you're not getting any treats because I know you. You've been whining the whole show. You get nothing, Jon Snow. Nothing. I'm not going to hit you. What's wrong with you? She saw me move my hand and I'm like, when do I hit you? Seriously. Goofball. No, you're not getting anything. No. Anyway. Oh my God. That's exactly what I was going to say. Hostia. Or Hestia. I was going to, and then I got, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. Yes. Hen blocked. There we go. That's the word I was going to, hen blocked. Chicken blocked. Anyway. Yes, UAE leaving OPEC is interesting. I don't know enough about it, so that's why I didn't mention it. It's interesting. I'm always happy to see OPEC kind of get weaker, you know, and the United Arab Emirates is leaving them. It seems Trump wanted them to, so I kind of wonder whether Trump didn't buy them off or something. I don't know, but I don't know enough about it. But interesting. Thank you, Leon. So OPEC is a cartel. They're not just like a cartel. They very much are. Yeah. Is the king actually meeting Mamdani? He's not meeting Mamdani, is he? Is he going to New York? Is he meeting Mamdani? I thought I thought that was just a hypothetical. I didn't think he was actually going to meet him. Is he really? Oh, Trump's going to hate that. Oh, he's going to hate that. Wow. Oh, he did today. Good. I wonder why he went to New York. I mean, New York is great. Maybe they went to New York because they like New York. I mean, that's possible right there, right? If you're going all this way, why not? Oh, that's interesting. Sasha is Sansa? Yeah, maybe. Sometimes I think Sasha is what's her face, the little sister, with Sting or not Sting, whatever the arrow was called. Anyway. Oh, 911. Oh, that's nice. Aria, thank you. I went to the 911 memorial. That's it. Or 9/11 memorial. 911. 9/11. That's nice. Yeah, UN, but I don't quite know. Thank you, Elizabeth. Which goat would you like? Needle. There you go. I would say Sting was Frodo's sword. Hey, stop, please. All right? Cut it out. Joe Biden's life was in danger multiple times. Actually, Republicans like to say this, but then they get embarrassed. The number of times that that plots against Joe Biden were thwarted, plots against Barack Obama, plots against President Clinton. My God, Obama had a record number of threats because he was black, and Republicans were trying to basically stoke racial tensions because he's black. Like all the Republicans to this day keep talking about how Obama was the most divisive president. They mean he's black, is what they mean, that it was divisive that we dared elect a black man. So, yeah, you want to talk about the number of threats against Obama and other presidents? Oh, let's talk about it. But when it comes to it, I don't think people should be violent against Donald Trump, but, Donald Trump has created a very bad climate in this country, unfortunately, So if people want to play the game of why does this keep happening? Yeah, why is it that our country has suddenly gotten more violent and more angry? Why is that? Maybe it's the guy in charge who's more violent and more angry who caused it. Maybe. Not even maybe. He did cause it. But anyway, what else? Oh, Halloween. Okay, did we pick Halloween? All right, thank you. Hello, you. Oh my God, relax. One more time. Yeah. Also, as they say, Donald Trump, most violent president probably in American history, certainly that we can all think of, in terms of violent rhetoric, calling for violence, talking about, he talked about killing Hillary Clinton, remember? He talked about there being a Second Amendment, one of those Second Amendment people would take care of Hillary Clinton, meaning gun people would kill her. The stuff this man has said is unbelievably violent. So that for him to be complaining about violence, this is, again, stochastic terrorism. You create a state in which you are motivating people towards violence. Yeah, because he's a very bad man and a very bad president. So, unfortunately, why does Israel want Russia as an ally? I'm not sure now, to be honest. Originally, the argument was Syria. Actually, it probably still is Hezbollah to a degree, but it was Syria because they needed overflights across Syria, and the Russians could help guarantee them and this kind of stuff. I will give the dog a touch of water right now. I don't quite get now why it's as important for Israel. I can ask boyfriend, but I don't think he's going to get this one right. But although this is one of those times where I say, sometimes ChatGPT can give interesting ideas and then you can judge whether they're right or not. Hey, boyfriend, here's my question, and I want you to go online and do some research for this. I don't just want your opinion. I want to know what the experts are saying on foreign policy. The question is, why is Israel still so hell-bent on pandering to Putin? Why is it that Netanyahu doesn't want to upset Putin and actually wants a good relationship with Putin? Previously, I had read that it was about Syria, and Israel wanted overflight rights over Syria in order to basically go after Iran and maybe even Hezbollah and stuff too, Lebanon. But basically, the Russians could help guarantee that. Well, now that Syria got overthrown and the Russians don't have much power there, why might Israel still be wanting to pander to Russia? For example, not helping Ukraine in the war, buying stolen Ukrainian grain that the Russians are selling. But I don't want you to just give me your opinion. I want you to go and tell me what the experts are saying online.
Israel continues to maintain a careful relationship with Russia, primarily for strategic reasons. Even though Russia's influence in Syria has waned, Israel still relies on coordination with Russia to avoid escalation in Syria and to manage Iran-related threats. It also gives Israel leverage by balancing between the US and Russia, while economic ties and the large Russian-speaking population in Israel play a role. Overall, both sides prefer cautious cooperation to outright conflict.
That wasn't a very good answer, but it is true that there's a large Russian emigre population in Israel, so that they have some power. That is true. That is true. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you was, so total bullshit. The White House says, the Pentagon said today that, the new number for how much the war in Iran on its 60th day, mind you, 60 or 61 right now, the new number for how much the war in Iran has cost us after 60 days is $25 billion. Interesting, because we were told previously that the war was costing $1 to $2 billion a day. So if the war was costing $1 to $2 billion a day, how did it suddenly become only $500 million a day? Less than $500 million, like $400 million a day, instead of $1 to $2 billion. According to the earlier estimates they gave us, it should be $60 to $120 billion that it's cost so far, not 25. They're lying. Of course they're lying. I mean, big surprise here, right? Big surprise here. Anyway, what else we got? What else? What else, guys? Anyway, other questions? Manana says, after the Soviet Union fell, a lot of Russian Jews moved to Israel. That's been an increasing trend in the last 30 years. Okay, so even more. So it wasn't even just the emigres. It was after the Soviet Union fell. Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Okay. What else? Musk and Altman. I've not been following that. I've been seeing some story about the two of them, but I don't know enough. I don't know anything about it. 600%. Is that a joke on Trump's drug prices? But I don't know enough about what's going on. I should probably look, but about what's going on with it. So don't know. What else? Up. Oh. Oops. I'm just scrolling here. Oops. Still in court? Yeah, okay. Somebody says they're still in court. Yeah. How many of our ships has Iran sunk? I don't know that they've sunk any that we know of. I don't recall seeing any. They've, knocked down some helicopters, some planes. The Warthog, I think, got knocked down. Didn't the Warthog get knocked down? Wasn't that one of them? It was the helicopter. Or no, it was the plane. I don't think the Warthog did. Oh, maybe it was the Warthog. It was the helicopter. It was like the F-16 or whatever it was, or F-15, I think. Or F-18. What was it? Maybe a Warthog. I don't recall. But I don't recall seeing any ships at all. I don't think so. G-15? F-15. F-15. Right. Okay. It was an A-10. Okay. I remember the A-10 being in the news. Yeah, no sunk ships. Helicopter as well. Oh, those three copters. Well, those three copters were like friendly fire at the beginning. Remember that whole crazy thing? Oh, the plane over was it an AWACS type plane? The plane over Iraq? Although Iran, well, we don't know what the hell happened to that plane, to be honest. F-15 and A-10, Paula says, right. But there was more. There was the plane over Iraq. Remember that where the crew, like 6 or 7 crew members died? It might have been a refueling plane, or was it an AWACS? I'm forgetting what, or AWACS type plane. Apache helicopter. I remember there was a helicopter, exactly, JTA. exactly. Schrodinger's Strait. It's open and it's closed. Oh, it was a refueling plane. Okay, it was a KC-135. Okay. Okay. But I don't remember if we ever got the full story on that one. That was that weird, like a little bit of a weird story. What? Is that true, Gunther? Is that true? Although I'm not sure what a probe is. Oh, the AWACS was destroyed on the runway. Oh, okay. Oh, that was Star Trek. Okay. Oh, the AWACS, that was probably Saudi Arabia, maybe. But remember when they were attacking a bunch of the runways? Oh, they damaged 5 planes on the runway. Maybe that was one of them. I don't recall now. Oh, yeah. Shoot. Justin, you know, I meant to, let me see if I can pull it up. Justin raised a good point. It's like I don't always grab all the videos that I want to show you guys. There was another video from Trump today. Let me see if I've got it handy. Let's see. I don't know. Possibly. I don't know if I retweeted it, though. Here we go. I've got it. I've got it. This is Donald Trump getting totally confused in the Oval Office between Iran and Ukraine. The scary part is it's not like he used the wrong word. I've done that with Iran and Iraq. I'll say Iraq instead of Iran, right? Or Ukraine instead of whatever. That's not what it is. He started answering a question about talking to Putin about Ukraine and switched to Iran mid sentence. You can tell he's suddenly talking about Iran and you're like, what?
We had a good talk. I've known him a long time. I think he was ready to make a deal a while ago. I think some people made it difficult for him.
He's talking about an hour-and-a-half phone call he had today with Vladimir Putin, and he says, I think Putin was willing to make a deal a while ago. He's not talking about Iran. He's talking, of course, you know, Putin isn't making a deal in Iran. Putin has nothing to do with Iran. He's talking about Ukraine. Mid-sentence, he just gets confused and starts talking about Iran. And then all the data he starts giving is about Iran. It's the craziest thing.
So we had a good talk. I've known him a long time. I think he was ready to make a deal a while ago. I think some people made it difficult for him to make a deal, but we talked more about Ukraine.
But which war do you think ends first?
That's an interesting question. You know, coming from you, that's very interesting. Which war would end first? I don't know. Maybe they're on a similar timetable. I think Ukraine, militarily, they're defeated, okay? You wouldn't know that by reading the fake news, but militarily, look, their Navy. So they had 159 ships. Every ship is right now underwater. Typically, that's pretty good. What do you think, Jared? I mean, it's going to be hard for them to make
talking
a
about
naval
Iran.
comeback. Okay, now they have an Air Force. Every one of their planes has been shot down or has been decimated. They have missiles. About 82% are gone. And they have drones, and most of them are gone. Most of the factories are mostly gone. And we have tremendous anti-drone equipment now, between lasers and that new, very special machine gun that knocks them out of the air like flies. And we use bullets instead of $1 million, you know.
He keeps going on. He thinks he's talking about Ukraine, but he's talking about Iran. It's like, okay, whatever. And the thing is, doing it like occasionally, he does this all the time. He does this all the time. But, you know, that's our boy. Oh, actually, I am going to close up soon because it's 7:17 already. And I try to keep this going until, so yeah, thank you, Justin, for reminding me of that. So yeah, I'm going to close up, I think, just to protect my voice. You know, I usually go this late, and that's about it. We'll be back tomorrow night. VRA, you mean the Supreme Court decision? Yes, we already talked about it. Yeah, we like the whole king. That's cute. JTA, are you American or not? I forget, JTA. JTA says, I find it interesting that many politicians say no more kings, but they did a standing ovation for the king. We like, you're German, okay. We like the British royalty. We've got a thing for it. I don't know why. Even I do. I mean, we've just got a thing for the British royalty. We always have. Like I said, I don't know why. You know, other royalty around the world, I don't think is legitimate. I really don't. All the other royalty around the world, I'd have to think, but no one do I consider royalty. I mean, you know, I like Abdullah. I went to school with him at Georgetown, but I don't think he's royalty, King Abdullah, right? All the royalty in Europe, I'm like, how cute Belgium has royalty or Sweden has royalty. I'm like, okay, that's cute. Whereas the Brits, I'm like, ooh. Now, I don't necessarily believe the concept of royalty anyway, but it's kind of cool. Like the British royalty is cool. Like meeting European royalty would be cute. Okay, whatever. Meeting British royalty would be oh my God. We just, whatever it is, we like them. so from all Belgium, yeah. So we just like them. Yeah. So like it would be, so for Trump to meet them, that's why Trump wanted the king to come. It gives Trump a sense of how his stature, how important he is. And the same thing for members of Congress. I'm surprised the Republicans clapped as much as they did, but they did. Hold on. You want to go? It's not raining right now. Go on. Go. No? All right. So yeah, hard to say, but we like them. We really do. The British royals are basically German. Yes, that is true, right? Mountbatten. But you know, it's just, yeah, it's what we do. I don't know what it is. We don't want a king, but we like the royalty. We like the British royalty thing. Yeah. Oh no, I remember though. My friend Damien's always telling me about them. Yeah, Windsor. They're really, aren't they? They're Mountbatten, right? Yeah, they're German. Well, we've always liked Princess Di. Yeah, but we always like Princess Di. But we also, I would bet that we've always been into the Queen and all that kind of stuff, just because it's, I don't know, something about it is romantic and fairy tale, and I don't know. Is it not the same in Europe? I don't know. I'm going to go in a second here, though. Swedish royalty, closely related. Well, they're all kind of related, aren't they? I mean, I always forget which branch, like the Russians were related too. Like which branch is related to whom always confuses me. You know, because then they, like the Brits, like the Tudor line and the this line and the that line, and it's always like, you know, I never, like who's who always confuses me, you know. But anyway, yeah, so we're into it. We just are. All right, guys, I'm going to go. All right. They're not Mountbatten. What are they? What? I forget. What's their, well, Prince Philip, Greek. Yeah, Greekish. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go after this, guys. Sorry, looking at JTA's last comment, and then I'm hanging up. Sorry, what else? Oh, Saxe-Coburg Gotha? Oh, is that the name? Saxe-Coburg? I don't remember that. Was that their name? Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yes, the Greeks, because it was Greece and Denmark. Exactly. Yep. Saxe-Coburg. Oh, I did not remember that. I mean, I don't really care enough, to be honest. I've never cared about the histories of the royal families, really. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm about to sign off here. Oldest monarchy in Europe is from the Hanoverian from Hanover, Germany. Okay. Well, good for you. All right. I am going to sign off now. Discord, you're first. See you guys. Thank you. Sasha, stop. Oh my God, the dog is driving me bonkers. All right, YouTube and Substack and etc. TikTok, you're last. See you guys.